Top 40 creatures of USA. And this week we are in the top 20 now. And the creatures on this part of the list are different from everything before them. These are not obscure regional legends that only locals know about. These are the ones that crossed state lines, the ones that made national news, the ones that left physical evidence, official police reports, and witnesses who spent the rest of their lives trying to make sense of what they saw. A crying woman on the river bank, a witch that tormented an entire family for years, a crawler so pale and so wrong that the security camera footage went viral across the entire world. 10 creatures, 10 stories that refused to stay local. Let's go. Echoes Obscura. The dark has a story, and I tell it. The Ozark Howler. There's a monster lurking somewhere in the Ozark Mountains of Arkansas and Missouri. Something howls at night. Not like a wolf, not like any animal that belongs on those woods. Witnesses describe it as a sound that starts like an animal and ends like something that should not exist. And once you hear it, you do not go back into those mountains after dark. The Ozark Howler has been reported across the Ozark Plateau for generations. Large, black, bear-sized, but moving with a speed and agility no bear possesses. Some witnesses describe horns. Some describe glowing red eyes burning through the dark between the trees. But it is the sound that defines every encounter. A howl that shifts mid-cry into something almost melodic, almost human, before dropping into a frequency witnesses describe as felt in the chest rather than heard with the ears. Hunters who have tracked it say the trail simply stops. No prints continuing forward. No sign of a turn. Just ends. Like whatever made them step out of the world entirely. The chupacabra. You heard of the chupacabra, but do you know what it actually is? In 1995, farmers across Puerto Rico started finding their livestock drained of every drop of blood overnight. 2 small puncture wounds on the neck. No other marks, no tracks, no explanation. And then the sighting started. And what people described was unlike anything in any biology textbook. The chupacabra, Spanish for goat sucker, became one of the most cryptic phenomena of the modern era within months of the first Puerto Rico cases. Witnesses described something standing on 2 legs, around 4 feet tall, spines running down its back, glowing red eyes, moving at speed that suggested it was not concerned about being seen. The sighting spread fast. Puerto Rico, Mexico, Texas, Chile, Florida, always the same wounds on the animal, always the same missing blood. Scientists offered explanations. Coyotes with mange, known predators misidentified in the dark, but coyotes with mange do not drain blood through 2 precise puncture wounds. They eat. Something else was out there, and it was hungry in a very specific way. La Llorona. If this would be an actual footage of the La Llorona, you would be scared to death. If you hear a crying woman near a river at night in the southwest, do not go towards the sound, because La Llorona is not crying for you. She is crying for what she lost, and in her grief, she has become something that takes. La Llorona, the weeping woman, is one of the oldest and most widespread legends in the Americas. Her story predates European contact in some forms and has been told continuously across Mexico and the American Southwest for centuries. The origin changes slightly by region, but the core never does. A woman, a terrible loss, a grief so consuming it warped her into something that wanders riverbanks at night, weeping, searching for what she can never get back. Parents across generations have used her legend to keep people away from dangerous waterways at night. But the reported sightings are not all parents warning children. Adults have reported hearing the crying, seeing the white figure at the water's edge, and feeling something ancient and broken in the sound. The Bell Witch. You heard of Tinkerbell. You ever heard of the Bell Witch? Between 1817 and 1821, something tormented the Bell family of Adams, Tennessee so severely, so consistently, that the story reached Andrew Jackson. He visited personally and left the next morning, saying he would rather face the entire British army than spend another night in that house. The Bell Witch hunting is considered the most documented and most credible paranormal case in American history. It started with sounds, knocking, chains dragging, then voices, then physical attacks, hair pulling, slapping, choking, directed almost exclusively at John Bell, the family patriarch. Neighbors witnessed it, visitors witnessed it. It spoke, it quoted scripture, it sang hymns, it knew things about people it should have had no way of knowing. John Bell unalived in 1820. A vial of strange liquid was found near his body. When it was given to the family cat, the cat passed away within minutes. The entity reportedly laughed when he passed and told the family it would return. In 1935, nobody who was there in 1817 lived to find out if it kept its promise. The Rake. America has a lot of real scary creatures, and this one is one of the scariest. In 2005, a series of accounts began appearing online describing the same creature, pale, hairless, crouching at the foot of beds in the middle of the night, moving on all fours in a way that looked mechanically wrong, just staring until the person woke up and saw it. The accounts came from people who had never heard of each other in different states, describing the same thing. Drake occupies a unique space in American cryptid history. It emerged from internet culture, but carries details too consistent and too specific to dismiss as simple creative fiction. Witnesses describe a pale, hairless humanoid roughly the size of a large dog when crouched, moving with unsettling mechanical quality, joints bending in directions that suggest the wrong number of bones. It does not attack immediately, it watches. And the witnesses who have described waking to find it at the foot of their bed share one detail above everything else. The moment they made eye contact with it, it smiled. The Green Man, Charlie No Face. This one is not Shrek. It's Shrek with no face. In western Pennsylvania, there is a road. And on that road, for decades, people reported encounters with a glowing green figure walking alone in the dark. No face, just a figure, moving through the night. The legend became so embedded in local culture that it has been passed from generation to generation for over 70 years. The Green Man legend of Pennsylvania has a real and deeply human origin. Raymond Robinson was a man who suffered severe electrical injuries as a child that left him significantly disfigured. Unable to go out during the day without causing distress to others, he walked the roads near Couple, Pennsylvania at night. For decades, people drove out specifically to see him. Some brought him gifts. He became a local institution. But somewhere between the reality and the retelling, the legend grew. The glowing, the faceless figure, the supernatural elements layered over a real man simply trying to live his life in the only hours the world left available to him. The creature was never the scary part of this story. The world that created him was. Melonheads. In Ohio, in Michigan, in Connecticut, creatures are on steroids. Three completely separate states with three completely separate origin stories, all describing the same small humanoids with enormous swollen heads lurking in the woods near abandoned buildings. And in each state, the legend is tied to the same thing. An institution, an experiment, something that went wrong and was never cleaned up. The Melonhead legend persists across three states with consistency that goes beyond coincidence. In each location, the story involves a facility, an asylum, a research institution where something was done to people that should never have been done. And when the facility closed, some of what was created did not leave. Witnesses describe small pale figures moving through the woods near these former sites. Large, disproportionate heads moving fast through trees at night. Whether the melon heads are real creatures or a legend built around genuine institutional trauma, the location they are tied to are real. The facilities existed. What happened inside them, in some cases, has never been fully disclosed. Fresno Nightcrawler. There are potential aliens that were recorded in 2007. In Fresno, California, recorded two figures crossing a lawn in the middle of the night. No arms, no torso, just impossibly long, thin white legs moving with a slow, deliberate grace. The footage was analyzed by experts. Nobody could explain it. And then a second camera in Yosemite caught the same exact thing. Two cameras, two locations hundreds of miles apart, same creature, same walk, same impossible proportion. Every conventional explanation was tested and failed. The movement does not match any known animal. The proportion cannot be replicated with any known costume or mechanical device. The original footage showed no signs of digital manipulation. What makes the Fresno Nightcrawler case genuinely compelling beyond the footage is what came after it went public. Native American elders from tribes in the Central California region recognized the description immediately. They had a name for it already. They had been seeing it for generations. The camera did not discover something new. It finally caught something ancient on film. The Beast of Bray Road. Europe has werewolves. USA has the Beast of Bray Road. In 1989, a woman driving on Bray Road outside of Elkhorn, Wisconsin came around the curve and her headlights caught something crouched by the roadside. It stood up 7 feet tall, covered in dark brown hair with the face of a wolf and eyes that reflected her headlights with an intelligence that made her floor the accelerator and not stop until she reached town. She was not the first. Local reporter Linda Godfrey began collecting accounts from the Elkhorn area in the early 1990s, and what she found was a pattern of sightings stretching back years from multiple witnesses who had not spoken to each other, all describing the same upright wolf-like figure along the same roads. The Beast of Bay Road does not behave like predator. Witnesses describe it observing them, assessing, as of deciding if whether they are worth its attention. Most of the time, it simply watches them go. The ones where it did not, those witnesses do not drive the road anymore. The rougarou. You heard of the werewolves, but there is one that comes with a French touch. In the bayous of Louisiana, in the deep swamp country where the trees grow so thick the sun never fully reaches the water, there is something that walks on two legs and should not. The Cajun people have known about it for centuries, and unlike most werewolf legends, the rougarou does not need a full moon. It needs you to be alone in the dark, near the water. The rougarou comes from French Cajun tradition, brought to Louisiana by French-Canadian settlers and blended with the existing folklore of the region into something uniquely American. Part werewolf, part swamp creature. Entirely terrifying. It is described as having the body of a man and the head of a wolf or dog, enormous and powerfully built, hunting the bayou country at night. But what separates the rougarou tradition from standard werewolf legend is the curse mechanics. If the rougarou draws your blood, the curse transfers. You become the next one, and you will not remember any of it until you wake up at dawn, wondering why your hands are not clean. 30 creatures down, 10 left to go. And the top 10, the ones that define American fear, are coming next. Subscribe to Echoes Obscura. Follow me on every single platform, because the dark has a story and I tell it.